Hello and welcome to AAA Reviews. Today I am filming two videos. I'm going to release one today, which is Saturday, and I'm going to release one during the week. Both are centered around a very similar thing, and that is monsters, monster movie figures. So today this video is the Universal Studios monster figures. I have several to show you, as well as the book, so that is really cool. If you haven't already, please hit a like, please hit subscribe, please turn on notifications, and please share with your friends so that we can get this channel growing bigger than it already is. And a big thank you to all of my subscribers that are already subscribed, because I really appreciate your support. With that said, let's jump in to this review. Okay guys, so we are in Halloween month, and this is the Universal Studios monster book that I've been taking all the facts today for the figures I'm going to show you. This one was printed in 2009. Really cool book, loads and loads of cool contents, but all the different kinds of Universal monsters and tons of information in this book alone. It's been absolutely brilliant. I have been watching through, there you go, Phantom of the Opera, absolutely fantastic, really good book. Dracula, there's basically all sorts in here, from Frankenstein, Invisible Man, you name it. A really cool book, and one I've been using today to get my facts for this video review. Now it's not my book, and it is not my figures that I'm about to show you today. It is my mum. She's been complaining that if you're doing a YouTube video, you have to mention their mine. So there you go. A big thanks to my mum for letting me review her collection. So straight into this review, guys. This is Frankenstein, who was played by Boris Karloff in 1931. This is an absolute awesome fig. These are really quite difficult to find, and I think the reason being is on the second market is what I'm referring to, is because the people that have bought these, or they are real collectors of this kind of thing, and so you don't see many about. This one is made by Kenner, and of course he was played by Boris Karloff. So there is your first figure. This is a 12-inch figure, a Hasbro Signature Series on the sticker, but on the back here we've got Kenner. Now I'm pretty sure that's because Hasbro have now bought out Kenner and own Kenner, so that's why you'll get two corresponding toy brands on one toy. Next up, we've got the Bride of Frankenstein, played by Elsa Lanchester. Really cool figure. Look at her, very haunting look, absolutely amazing. This one I have found an example. I think she comes up for around £60 plus 60 postage. I'll pop the example up here now so you can have a look. I'm not really trying to price these up today because there's just not an awful lot of them around for me to see. But this is Elsa Lanchester, who was married, of course, to Charles Launton. So yeah, these are really cool figures that I think would be awesome on display in anyone's collection. Next up, we've got the Wolfman, played by Lon Chaney. Now I've got some really interesting facts. This film was out in 1940, and Lon Chaney was 6'2". It took 21 makeup changes on the close-up from him turning into the wolf, and 22 hours to film, because of course now they just use CGI, but back in the day they never had any of that. So here is the Wolfman, an absolute favourite in the horror genre, and really cool, I think, this figure. Next up, we've got the Phantom of the Opera, also played by Lon Chaney, and I have some really interesting facts about this. He actually had to put eye drops into his eyes to dilate his eyes. He had a special wire mesh in under the prosthetics over his nose to help him breathe. He had some sort of, I think they described it as like discs in his face to kind of puff his face out, and because the makeup was so heavily intense, he had to do a lot of his acting through his body rather than his face. And of course, the Phantom of the Opera, he steals the young girl, takes her underneath. We've been watching lots of these old films just lately, just researching for this exact video. So yeah, this was also played by Lon Chaney, and of course when he took off the mask you could see part of his actual skull. That was a really cool thing they did with the makeup by the time. So yeah, so this is the fourth figure that we have, or my mother has, should I say, in her collection. And I think yet again these are just absolutely awesome vintage looking figures. The actual year of release on these ones was 1998, so nearly coming up for retro years really, but really cool nevertheless. Next up we have another 12-inch the Wolfman, but this time it's the sideshow toys that have made this one. And look at this, absolutely amazing, with some really, I mean, a completely different type of figure really. I'll try and stay out of the way of the camera so that it doesn't reflect into there, so you can see better. A completely different figure in its own way, nothing like the other Wolfman, but really, really awesome, with some really cool props as well. Just a really nicely done figure. Now I have found an example which I'll pop up on screen, because I know you guys like to know the prices of these things. On the second market, the Wolfman at the moment is coming in, I think, at £129. That was the cheapest I could find an example of today, so it's a very expensive figure. These ones, because I haven't mentioned it, but these ones go anywhere between £40 and £60 each on the second market, but then postage can really push them up. But these here are definitely a lot more expensive, but they absolutely, in the way they're done in the boxes and everything, is absolutely stunning. They are absolutely fantastic figures. And then we have another Frankenstein, but again this one is a sideshow. Interesting fact, Boris Karloff was a struggling actor, and the director James Whale saw he had like a strange shaped head and thought, yeah, that'll work, and I'll throw him in as Frankenstein. And of course history was made. Let's take a look inside. This artwork is absolutely fantastic. These are definitely a stage up from the Kenner ones for sure. And here we have Frankenstein, and his accessories are really cool, such as that little flower, those shackles. You get a brain and a jar for the brain to go in. I think he's a really cool character. These titles that are done on the inside, like the movie, I think this is a much more premium looking product. I do have an example of a price for this one. This one came in at £125. That was the cheapest I could find it for. A really good figure, really good details. I'll show you the back of the box as well. These 12-inch are so good. Now they do a 7-inch as well, which go for less money of course, but these 12-inch are where it's at for me. They just look so cool, and I think displayed they look great. But I think with these, I would keep them in the box just because they're so smart and so cool. But that's just me, that's just my preference. A really good figure. I don't have any more, I'm afraid. There's obviously the Dracula, and there is the Mummy and the Creature from the Black Lagoon, but we don't have them. But that's something my mum may obtain over time, because she's got a lot of these she's been given through Christmas. I did see a Mummy up for sale the other day for around 67. These go for around 40 to 60 pounds each, I would say. These go for a lot more, in the 100, past 100, 125, 130 pound mark. So these are quite collectible, quite expensive, but an absolute must if you like this sort of thing. Let me know in the comments if you've collected any of these. Do you have the Mummy? Do you have Dracula? Are there any other ones that you have? I'd love to hear from you. And as always, good luck searching for that toy gold.